Hello, I'm Richard Hooper and this is SatTV Week. Now I'm pleased to be joined by David Meltzer, Secretary General of the GVF. David, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
What direction is the GVF taking at the moment?
Well, for GVF, it's all about increasing the value proposition, answering the question from members as well as potential members, why should I join? Why should I maintain my membership? So what we're really trying to do is increase the value proposition. How are we doing that? We're getting more speaking opportunities for our members at conferences. We're creating new membership category, which I'll talk about in a minute, but that's to make GVF, which today is the only international trade association, the only trade association that's both international and open up to the entire ecosystem, trying to make it more welcoming, more open to other members of the broad satellite industry, because with that breadth of membership comes a stronger voice. And that makes us more effective and more valuable for the the satellite industry. So really our focus is increase the value proposition, increase the value of joining GVF.
Now you mentioned it, new category for membership. Explain a little bit more.
Okay. Well, we realize whether you call it new space or space 2.0, it's really a changing industry. The barriers to entry have lowered dramatically. I mean, when you used to think, well, to get into geo orbit, it was $100 million for a launcher, $150 million to build a satellite. The costs have come down tremendously. And so we see new companies with new technology really with exciting potential. But at this point, it's potential for them. Many of these companies have great ideas, but some of those ideas will never make it off the drawing board. What we've done at GVF is created a new membership category for new space to basically say to companies meeting certain criteria, very small. We're talking companies with less than 10 employees, companies with less than $10 million in investment financing, to say, hey, come to GVF, we'll give you a free membership for a year, try it out. Because for startup companies, really they're focused on bringing their wonderful product or service to market and getting money to make payroll. I understand those are the two most important criteria for any new company. So for us, we want to say, hey, there are benefits to joining a trade association, particular benefits to joining the only global trade association representing the entire ecosystem. Come here, there'll be no charge for a year. Give it a try. There's no downside, and we announced this just a couple of weeks ago, and we're already getting a tremendous response from companies saying, I'm interested, can I join? And so I think it'll bring new membership, it may stir the pot up a little, which I think is good, because some of these new companies will make a go of it. All of my members were new and small at some point, and so I think by bringing in new membership, we're going to create maybe new tensions, but also new opportunities and new partnerships. One of the things we have to sell to new members, these small companies, is, hey, you're going to be joining a club with a lot of well-established actors, some of whom you may want to sell your product or service to, or some you may want to hire. But at the end of the day, you'll make wonderful commercial contacts, and that's one of the benefits of a trade association.
But also you have some other strings to your bow. One is lobbying, which you're very, very good at, and the other is training and certification. We don't hear so much about those.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. Something GVF has been doing for 20 years with wonderful partners, whether it be online training with a partner SatProf, or we have a number of partners that do classroom training like NBC out of India. We provide training. I think in SatProf's case, over 17,000 individuals have gone for training. They've passed various levels of exams. They've received, in many cases, certifications. And that allows people to tell their employer, hey, I'm qualified to do X. X may be installing a VSAT. Training is important, not just for the industry, but it's very important for GVF. It produces revenue. And like any business, you want to diversify your revenue. And for GVF or any trade association, I would think, you don't want to be solely dependent on dues, because there may be a merger and you've got two members, and then the next day you've got one member and one set of dues. So developing alternative revenue streams like training, it's really important to us strategically and it provides a real benefit to our members as well as non-members who are eligible. They just have to pay a little more than a member does for the training.
So with the members you've got, and they're quite diverse, what are the trends that people are talking to you about as we move forward?
I think for my members, and I'm really thinking of the operators, the trend is how do they create the opportunity, the business in a 5G world? We all talk about 5G, the network of networks. We're being bombarded back home with the advertisements from the mobile operators. And I think we can predict that 5G will be, let's say, if not revolutionary, and maybe it will be evolutionary from 4G, but it really has great potential, and satellite has to play a role in it because of its unique capabilities, the ubiquity, the throughput, the ability to do things like IoT, Internet of Things. So for my members, a lot of focus on 5G, a lot of focus on bringing internet connectivity to underserved communities, whether it be by geo satellites or certainly LEO is soon to be here. I think OneWeb, which is a member of GVF, well along in deploying their satellites. Telesat, a member as well, has announced their plans for a LEO system. So I think for a lot of my members, it's about bringing new services to the market, whether it be by GEO or LEO, and in particular looking at what 5G. And then another issue that I think a lot of our industry, whether it be the terminals industry or this operator industry, are looking at mobile applications. At the recently concluded World Radio Communications Conference, there was a series of decisions that were really helpful for the satellite industry around what's called Earth Stations in Motion, to bring via satellite greater connectivity, broadband connectivity to trains, to planes, to automobiles, oil platforms, and I think that's very important for a lot of our members who are both on the ground side as well as the space side.
Well, these are interesting times. We'll see how it all pans out.
We certainly will.